Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the 2019 Commencement at Alpena Community College. My name is Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president here. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the posting of the colors by the Alpena Area Public Safety Honor Guard and remain standing for our national anthem, performed by the Besser Chorus, and then the invocation. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. And please allow room for the honor guard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national colors are on display and ready to travel in this room. Will you please render proper honors as they pass? Honor guard, stand up. Push, arm. Carry, colors. Carry. Forward, march.
Delivering our invocation tonight is Wendy Brooks, Minister of Community of Christ Church.
Will you pray with me, please? Empowering God one of grace and mercy, we invite your presence into this place today as family, faculty, administrators, community, and friends have come together to celebrate the accomplishments of the Alpena Community College graduating class of 2019. Today, we give thanks for the sheer magnificence of the mind, for the sweet taste of accomplishment. Allow this to be a time of great joy and celebration. We also give thanks for sacrifices made by others. Most of us have not made it here alone. These significant ones, many of them present today, will walk this stage today in spirit with these graduates. And finally, we give thanks for the sacrifices made by the graduates themselves. They have shown this dedication through their studies, hours in the library, study groups and group projects, and the all-nighters to avoid late assignments. Through the sweat and tears and shouts of joy in completing, we give thanks for what may be the most difficult work they have done to this point in life. And we ask today for your blessing on these graduates. Bless them with passion, with a sense of responsibility, with humility, and finally, bless them with a legacy. As they mark the world, let the shadow of their mark stretch far beyond their liabilities and limitations. Let them know the rich satisfaction, not of merely making a living, but of living a life full, rich, and deep. For all these things we pray. Amen.
Good evening. I'm John Briggs, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you to our commencement at Alpena Community College, Northeast Michigan's community college. We're here for a time of commencement. Commencement is a time of starting out and beginning. I realize all of you are graduating, that ends, but this really starts a new beginning for you. But before we move into that, let's just reflect on how you got here. Whether you took courses on the main campus or at the Oscoda campus, online, through early college, through dual enrollment, you got here. Through your perseverance, your pushing yourself, and through the support of family, friends, the sacrifices they had to make, the encouragement they gave you when you needed. You had the support of faculty that also at times pushed you, but also provided you guidance and wisdom, and I'm sure in turn you informed them. And of course the staff here that make things work all the time for all of us. But most of all, as we commence ahead, I want to take a minute to thank the whole community, the larger community, the community that provides a huge number of scholarships to help make school more possible for an awful lot of students. The community that comes out to take part in any student event, athletic, performance, or anything like this commencement. The community that has always come forward to support the college. The community that since 1952, 72 years ago, or 67 years ago, had made the commitment to make sure that this college is going to be here for the future. And for that, we can be all thankful. Let's move ahead and enjoy this commencement and move ahead together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Briggs. I'd like to take a moment to make a few introductions. I'd like to introduce the folks on the platform first. If you could hold your applause until I circle through, I would appreciate it. We have Vice President of Instruction, Debbie Bayer. Treasurer of the Board, Sue Stender. Florence Stibbets, ACC Trustee. Brenda Herman, Executive Director of the ACC Foundation. Lois Darga, Commencement Speaker, Dr. Lois Darga. Wendy Brooks, Invocation. John Briggs, Chairman of the Board. Brian Siegert, Besser Company. Joe Gentry, ACC Trustee. Teresa Duncan, ACC Trustee. Dr. Lisa Hilberg, ACC Trustee and Vice President for Administration and Finance, Richard Sutherland. Can we have a hand for those folks? I'd like to thank also the Alpena Area Public Safety Honor Guard. I think it adds a tremendous amount to this commencement. We appreciate their time and efforts. And they are Alpena County Sheriff Stephen J. Kalashewski, Alpena County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Scott Gagne, Alpena Fire Department Lieutenant Tim Slosser, Alpena Fire Department Firefighter Jason Roos, Alpena Fire Department Firefighter Nick Harrison, and Michigan State Police Trooper Jim Mentum. Could we have a hand for them? We have some VIPs tonight that I would like to introduce. We have Mr. Jim Park, tremendous benefactor of Alpena Community College. You are sitting in Park Arena, and it's named after Jim. Next to Jim is Sue Fitzpatrick, who's the president of our ACC Foundation. Also, she and her husband, Tim, are tremendous supporters of Alpena Community College, and we thank them for it. And on the end is Bev Bodum, who is representing Senator Jim Stamas here tonight. Thank you, Bev. I do have to acknowledge the numerous departments here at the college who work on commencement activities. The academic office, president's office, registrar's office, custodial and maintenance. They do a tremendous amount of work getting ready here. And specifically, I'd like to call out Lori Dzinski, our registrar, who will be retiring in December after 43 years here at ACC. Could we have a hand for them? So earlier today, we had an honors breakfast, which is a wonderful ceremony, and we awarded 2 front-runner awards. And they're presented annually to a graduating, oftentimes male and female student, but this year with 2 female students, who have each demonstrated unusual dedication in the pursuit of higher education. This award salutes non-traditional students who deal not only with the usual challenges of college studies, but also juggle home, family, and work responsibilities as well. They're inspirational, both of them. Nancy Frary is one, and Mahina, could you just stand? Thank you so much. Next up, designation of the College Fellow. Tonight it's my pleasure to name Coach James Dutcher as Alpena Community College's 2019 Fellow of the College. Jim has had an historic basketball coaching career at ACC and several universities, including the University of Michigan. He has had great success in that field, including having led the ACC men's basketball team to the Michigan Junior College Conference Championship in 1966. He has left an indelible mark on ACC and is a legend in ACC athletics. James D. Dutcher was born in Alpena, Michigan in 1933. He graduated from Alpena High School in 1951, having earned all-state honors in football and basketball. Jim attended the University of Michigan, where he played football and basketball until a knee injury his sophomore year limited his participation. During his senior year, he was assistant varsity basketball coach at Ann Arbor High School. He graduated from U of M with a bachelor's degree in 1955, then served 2 years in the Army. After the military, he re-enrolled at U of M and earned a master's degree in 1961. Jim returned to Alpena, where he worked as the athletic director and head basketball coach at Alpena Community College from 1958 to 1966. His cumulative record at ACC was 105 wins versus 70 losses. Dutcher's 1965-66 ACC team won the Michigan Junior College Conference Championship and finished with a 22-5 record. They went on to represent Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana at the National Junior College Tournament in Hutchinson, Kansas. He was named Conference Coach of the Year twice during his time at ACC. From 66 to 72, he was the head basketball coach for Eastern Michigan University. For you hoop aficionados, he coached George Gervin there, who was named one of the top 50 NBA players of all time. From 72 to 75, Jim served as the assistant basketball coach at the University of Michigan. In 75, he became the head basketball coach at the University of Minnesota, where he worked until 1986. Jim also served as a color commentator for Minnesota Golden Gophers basketball for several seasons. And at Minnesota, he coached another top 50 all-time basketball player, Kevin McHale. From 1986 to 90, he was a vice president at the brokerage firm of Miller, Johnson and Kuhn. In 1990, he joined the firm of RBC Dane Rauscher, where he was employed as senior vice president until he retired in 2005. Jim was married to his wife, Marilyn, for 53 years until her passing in 2010. Please give a round of applause to Coach Jim Dutcher.
Good evening. It's a special honor for me to present the Distinguished Graduate Award this year. The Alpena Community College Foundation created this award to recognize ACC graduates who have gone on to contribute to society through successful careers. Our recipient tonight serves as an example of how a solid educational foundation from ACC can launch a lifetime of achievements. I'm pleased to share that our 2019 distinguished graduate this year is Keith Wallace. Keith was born and raised in Alpena and graduated from Catholic Central High School in 1960. He enrolled in ACC and earned an Associate in Arts degree in 1962 and transferred to the University of Michigan, where he received a Bachelor in Art degree with a secondary teaching certificate in 1964. Keith continued his education at the University of Detroit, receiving a Juris Doctor degree in 1967. Shortly following graduation, Keith married Joyce, a Detroit girl whom he then moved to his hometown of Alpena, where he has been an active practicing attorney for 51 years and a senior member of the law firm Isaacson, Wallace, and Pfeiffer. He has served this community in various ways over the last half century. Most notably, Keith served as the city attorney for the city of Alpena for 39 years, where he also received the Michigan Association of Municipal Attorneys Distinguished Service Award. He honorably accepted the role of public administrator for the county of Alpena, appointed by the Michigan Attorney General's office. For over 25 years, he served on the First Federal Savings Board of Directors and was an integral member of the Community Advisory Board of Hospice of Northeast Michigan, where he also served for several years. He has held many leadership roles, such as Chair of the Pastoral Council of St. Bernard's Church, President of the Alpena JCs, and President of the Alpena Bar Association. Keith has also held membership in over 10 additional clubs and associations. Keith and Joyce have one daughter, Courtney, who is married and now resides in Muskegon. The Wallaces enjoy traveling and spending time with their daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughters, Katie and Claire. Over the years, Keith has remained connected to ACC and most recently served in a volunteer capacity on the ACC Foundation's Gift Planning Alliance. The Alpena Community College Foundation is proud to present Keith Wallace with the 2019 Distinguished Graduate Award for his remarkable achievements and outstanding accomplishments since his early days at ACC. Keith, will you please join me on the podium to accept this award as the 2019 Alpena Community College Distinguished Graduate?
Our commencement address tonight will be delivered by Dr. Lois Darga. She has been an accounting instructor and a very important person here at the college for a long time, but an full-time accounting instructor since 2008. Her education, she graduated in May 1979 with an associate's degree in commerce from Alpena Community College. She obtained a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration at Central Michigan University in May of '91, an MBA at Lake Superior State University in '93, obtained an Associate in Applied Science in Manufacturing Technology at ACC in 2006, and got her doctorate in 2016 from Ferris State University. She's a certified public accountant, worked at a local CPA firm for 13 years, and then as a sole practitioner. Her family, husband Tim, earned a certificate as a millwright from ACC. Their daughter, Dr. Kristen Kowalski, who attended ACC, is an audiologist. She is married to Andrew, who also attended ACC, and is an Edward Jones financial advisor. They are parents to Sophia, age 6, and Harry, age 4. Their
Tim and Lois's other daughter, Kaylee Mason, also attended ACC and is a family nurse practitioner, married to Michael, an accountant with the Omni Group. They are parents to twins Arlo and Leo, age 2, and Kristen and Kaylee work together at Great Lakes Ear, Nose, and Throat Specialist at their Alpena, Gaylord, and Petoskey clinics. Dr. Darga is an avid world traveler, having been to Japan, Scotland, Ireland, England, France, Italy, Spain, Canada, Mexico, and throughout the U.S. She writes, "Although I enjoy the discoveries and fun of visiting other countries and learning about their cultures and more about our own, I am always happy to return home to the beauty of Northeast Michigan." Dr. Darga.
Thank you, Dr. McMaster, for your kind introduction. Welcome, ACC trustees, administrators, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, Besser Chorus, Honor Guard, donors, volunteers, proud families and friends, and of course you, our 2019 graduates. I am very honored to have this opportunity to speak with you tonight. I have to give you one warning. I am one of those students that always strived for the A. I was valedictorian in my high school class, so it was very important to me, as you could tell, to get A's. And during my elementary and high school years, I earned mostly A's and some B's. But there was one exception. When I was in 3rd grade, I earned a D for conduct. And my teacher wrote on my report card, "Talks too much." So you might be in trouble, but I'll try to have us out by the 11 o'clock WBKB News. Graduates, congratulations on reaching this educational milestone. It's a great day to celebrate you and your accomplishments. During the next few minutes, or a couple of hours, I'll share a few observations and experiences and offer some simple advice. I hope that each of you will find a part of this message that resonates with you and that will prove useful as you leave ACC to start the next phase of your life. My first words of advice are, be courageous. We all live in a complex world that is ever changing. Some people say that in many ways, our world is a mess. Problems abound and each of us faces our share of them. We need to be brave as we overcome adversity. At other times, we need to have the courage to stand up for others and do what is right, even at great personal loss and loss of popularity. During an interview for a summer internship between my junior and senior year of college, I was told by the interviewer, "Women don't belong in accounting. We hire them, they get pregnant, have babies, and cause complications for us." I was shocked at these words, deflated in spirit, but too timid to speak up. That did not stop me, however, from pursuing my goal of becoming a certified public accountant. Years later, another professional told me, "Lois, you'd have more opportunities as a CPA, but you are too committed to your children." Being a little more confident in experience and a little more courageous, this time I said, "Thank you. That is the absolute best compliment I could ever receive as a mother." Don't let stereotypical views and rude behaviors prevent you from persisting. Some people will criticize you because you're not doing what they expect or want you to do. Others will put you down to build themselves up. Be courageous as you turn criticism, rejections, failure, and obstacles into the catalyst to propel you forward in achieving your goals. More advice, be extraordinary. Remarkable, exceptional, and spectacular are some of the words to describe a person or organization that is considered extraordinary. On this subject, researcher and author Edward Blocker writes, "We know in these competitive times that an organization does not succeed by being ordinary. Rather, it develops a strategy that will set it apart from competitors and ensure its attractiveness to customers and other stakeholders into the future." I believe the same holds true for individuals like you and me. We need to do what it takes to be extraordinary In today's global society, it's no longer good enough to acquire knowledge. Those who stand out from competitors use their knowledge to analyze a situation, look for ways to improve, and make swift changes. The best jobs will go to those who are highly skilled and possess differentiated skills, those who can solve problems, make decisions, communicate effectively, and adapt quickly. Being extraordinary also involves giving great customer service, valuing the talents of people, acting professionally, and going the extra mile for others. People who act in an extraordinary manner see change as an opportunity and are willing to work hard to adapt, learn, and grow. Some people choose to do what they've always been doing because it's more comfortable and it's less risky. Refusing to change often stifles growth, however, and puts companies and individuals at a disadvantage. My friend Emma was willing to change throughout her lifetime. She said, "If I was younger, I'd run for President of the United States. I have a plan, I'd put people to work, and I'd change this country around." When she told me this, she was just shy of her 25th birthday. However, she was born on Leap Day. So actually, she was just shy of 100 years of age when she said that. She continued to pursue change and growth throughout her lifetime, even in her mature age. Mr. Dan Rivard, retired Ford Motor Company and Ford Racing executive and a dear friend of our family's, recently expressed his view on the significance of change. "Nothing stays the same for very long," Dan said. "If you're not changing, you're falling behind." It's true that if we maintain the status quo while others are improving, we are losing ground. After the crash in 2001 that claimed the life of NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Sr., Dan was asked to serve on a team to evaluate the safety of that car and to recommend design changes to make it less dangerous for the drivers. As a result of those recommendations, design changes were made, and to this date, race car drivers are safer and there has not been a fatality to this point. Sometimes it takes tragic events to trigger change, but you can make both sweeping and incremental changes on a regular basis. Whether someday you decide to return back to school to continue your education, or whether you're adapting to your new role as a first-time parent, or deciding to eat healthier, you're changing. In the process, don't be afraid to fail, because failure leads to growth. In the preface of her book, one author writes, "I first wish to thank my previous employer for firing me from my job, for without doing so, this book would not have been written." She turned rejection into opportunity. Like that author, you'll be faced with obstacles and problems throughout your life, but the good news is you have a choice on how to respond to them. You can let them get you down, or you can acknowledge your problems and then work to solve them. I encourage you to grow and be willing to change throughout your lifetime. Next, be a person of integrity. Integrity is the characteristic of being ethical and honest and having strong moral principles. Ethics can be defined as distinguishing between right from wrong and then doing the right thing, no matter if anybody is looking or not. When evaluating hypothetical ethical situations, you might have an easy answer. You know what to do. However, it may be easier said than done when that ethical dilemma and your reaction to it and your response will affect you personally or someone close to you. Your supervisor may pressure you to file false documents or overcharge a customer. You may need to decide whether to spend some of your budget on equipment maintenance, even though that pushes you over your budget and you forfeit your bonus. But not maintaining the equipment might cause major breakdowns and major expenditures for your company. What will you do when faced with a difficult decision? I encourage you to give good thought to your ethical values, draw distinct lines between what you will and will not do, and then use your ethical code to help you decide what to do in difficult situations. Moral values are diminishing in our society today. Individuals often fail to guard and protect their bodies, minds, and souls. Many movies, TV games, shows, other types of entertainment depict violence or low moral integrity, and yet they are the entertainment of choice for some people. Cursing and vulgarities spew freely out of some mouths and become part of their regular communication. Individuals compromise their moral code when they dress immodestly or engage in inappropriate behaviors and then splash the images on social media for all the world to see. As you move on into the next phase of your life, I encourage you to define your moral values, set boundaries that guide you to act, dress, and speak appropriately and respectfully. Be kind. Each year in the program for my daughter's dance recital, I'd read the quote by an unknown author that states, "Long after they remember what you taught them, they will remember how you treated them." I hope that my students remember me as someone who treated them kindly and respectfully. This is a very fitting quote for teachers, but it does pertain to all of us in this room. Give people focused attention, which makes them feel that for the moment that you are talking with them, they are the only person, the most important being in the world. Show them that you are interested. Show them that you care about them. When people are struggling, give them a break. When they wrong you, forgive them. When they need mercy, be merciful. When they need grace, offer grace. I had to make a decision about grace in one of my accounting classes. As my students that are here know, I often say abbreviate when we're writing out accounting problems and writing account names and reports. And so I say abbreviate your notes so that you reduce your hand fatigue and it speeds up the process. Well, one student, whom I'll call Brian, took this to the extreme. He would turn in assignments and exams with 1- and 2-letter abbreviations and left it for me to decipher. I explained to him, taking shortcuts and abbreviating your notes is fine, but it's not appropriate for exams and for assignments. You need to write out proper headings and account names. Well, he didn't heed my advice, and when I graded his next exam, it was laden with 1- and 2-letter abbreviations that I had to figure out. I had to make a decision. Would I give him grace or not? I could refuse to grade it. He could earn a 0. I could deduct substantial points for what he did. I decided to work at deciphering and see what he had to say, and he demonstrated a very deep understanding of the concepts and how to apply them, and he ended up earning one of the highest grades on the exam. I chose grace. After handing out the graded exams for students to review, Brian approached me with his exam in his hand and a perplexed look on his face and said, "Mrs. Darga, what's this message that's written at the top of my exam?" And I said, "Oh, that's your grade, and a note from me to you." He stared at it a little longer and he said, "Kabowi gowa kutgoa? I don't get it." And I told him, "Oh, that's my abbreviation for congratulations, Brian, on earning your grade of A. Keep up the good work." For his assignments and exams thereafter, he did not abbreviate. I was able to get my point across while scoring his exam based on his knowledge rather than on rules. I chose grace. Next, be balanced. What does it mean to live a balanced lifestyle? One source I read describes a balanced life as one that includes physical, family, social, financial, business, civic, and spiritual aspects. Balance may mean taking time to do what really matters to you. Do you regularly give thought to what you value most? Do you invest most of your week doing what you have to do or what you like to do? I brought 2 windows with me tonight to represent balance in life. On my left, the first window on the easel has 2 panes. For some of you, it might look like 4 because there's a center bar, but there is a top and bottom pane to that window. That represents to me a person's focus on just two aspects of life, let's say career and volunteerism. This person spends most of his waking hours at work and dwells on work even when he's at home. He has little time for and interest in any other parts of his life. He occasionally volunteers at various community events, but his role in the workplace tends to define who he is. You may ask, what's wrong with working and volunteering? It's certainly valuable to give it your all on the job and to provide community service. The problem lies not in the worthwhile activities he's involved with, but in the lack of balance in his life. When most or all efforts are focused in two areas, the other aspects of the well-being are neglected. If that career opportunity is lost, the impact may be life-shattering, with little support or interest to help him adapt. The second window on my right, with 6 panes instead of 2, represents a more balanced life. Although the panes seen here are of equal size, finding balance does not mean giving equal time and energy to all parts, nor does having more interest guarantee fulfillment and contentment. But a balanced life can be enriching, can contribute to improved overall health and well-being, and can provide support when a portion of one's life is broken. And throughout our lives, what we value changes, so certain panes of our window may be replaced by different ones. My window pane currently consists of faith, family, friends, career, health, home, community, music, and other hobbies. Some panes in our life's window are priceless and can't be replaced. My family and I experienced this when 2 people very dear to us, my mom and my father-in-law, passed away on the same day in 2014. These deep and significant losses impacted our entire family, and no other parts of our life could replace the void left in their passing. However, my family and I could turn to our faith in Jesus Christ, our mutual love and family support, and the kindness of friends to ease the sting of the loss and to begin the healing process. Graduates, do you have balance in your life? Maybe you'll have more now that your graduation day is here. How would you describe the panes in your window? Are you doing what matters most to you? I encourage you to give some thought to this. Perhaps you will decide to remodel. Lastly, be grateful. Each of us is blessed in many ways, but we don't always take time to recognize or acknowledge our blessings. In today's fast-paced world, it's common to get caught up in the busyness of life, and we focus on what's urgent instead of what's important. In northern Michigan, we are blessed with the natural beauty, serenity, and changing seasons of the place we call home. We live in a relatively safe community with citizens who are generous, friendly, and supportive. Most of us enjoy good health, warm friendships, and someone to love. I'm abundantly blessed to share my life with my husband, daughters and sons, and grandchildren, and I'm blessed with the gift of true friends, some of who are in this room tonight. I'm blessed to teach amazing students at ACC, and I often pause during class for a moment to tell them this. I say something like, Christy, Ashley, Nancy, Monica, Mahina, Hannah, and Andre, I am so blessed to teach you. Thanks for the opportunity for all of us to learn together. Graduates, do you ever stop and count your blessings? What are they? I encourage you to find a quiet corner and reflect on them. Make a blessings list and post it where you can see it often. Be grateful for them. When you are burdened with life's challenges, focusing on these good things in your life may lighten your load. And speaking of blessings, graduates, as you progress through your classes, you had the support of many people. You did it, you crossed the finish line, but you did not do this alone. It was not a solo adventure. The combined support of many helped you to get to this day, including ACC trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, foundation board members, and other volunteers. You are also supported by business partners, industry advisors, employers, community members who pay property taxes, and donors. Together, these individuals and groups provided their expertise, leadership, guidance, and financial and academic support. Let us not forget your parents, grandparents, spouses, significant others, children, siblings, relatives, and friends who cheered you on from the sidelines and made sacrifices to support your learning, share your burdens, and celebrate your victories. Graduates, before closing, I invite you to stand, make a 180-degree turn, and then look left and right and all around the room at your community of supporters. Graduates, as you progress through your classes, you probably had some sleepless nights, stressful mornings, and exhausting days. I hope you also acquired new skills, made self-discoveries, developed friendships, and gained the satisfaction that accompanies a job well done. Well, you've done it. You crossed the finish line. What are you feeling about reaching this point in your educational journey? Are you relieved? Are you looking forward to the next phase of your life? Or are you thinking, I'm exhausted and I need a nap? Go ahead, you've earned your rest. Take your nap, but don't sleep too long, for many adventures of your life await you. Go seize them. Congratulations, I'm proud of you, and I wish you a lifetime of adventure, blessings, balance, and love.
Bring that microphone down a little bit. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome to the podium Mr. Brian Siegert. He's the Executive Vice President of Manufacturing at Besser Company, and he will be presenting the Anna and Jesse Besser Awards.
Thank you. It's certainly my pleasure to be representing Besser here tonight, and certainly an honor to be handing out these awards. These awards are very near and dear to Besser Corporation and really the city. A brief history of Besser. We were founded in 1904. We have 2 locations here in Alpena. We've got one in Adrian, Michigan. We got one in California, 2 in Iowa, 1 in Montreal, and we have a facility, a partnership in China. Believe it or not, the headquarters for all that is right here in Alpena. Not much more than actually less than a mile away from here, 801 Johnson. Headquarters of a company that has been around since 1904 and is a major player in the industry. It's sometimes it's hard to believe, and I didn't start my working career at Besser, but the more I've worked there, the longer I've worked there, it's certainly amazing the tradition and the pride and the products that this company can produce. If you really owe it to yourself to look to see what's being built in your community and how we touch the whole world. It's amazing. What does Besser do? We build equipment. We build equipment that will make the block, the paver, the landscaping device. We build equipment. We don't build the product. A lot of people kind of get confused with that. And believe it or not, we ship that equipment to over 135 different countries. So, like I mentioned, we do touch the whole world. Anna and Jesse started all this, and tonight's awards are named after them. And it doesn't take long to drive around our town and see the legacy that they've left in our community. Anna and Jesse were not much on fanfare. Neither one would have been the type to inspire the room by their energetic presence. They inspired us with their leadership, their actions, and most importantly, their time. When I was making some notes for tonight, it reminded me of something I read from the Jim Collins book, Good to Great. Mr. Collins studied company leaders in some very impressive companies. He found that the most common trait of these leaders was humility. A lot of people think charisma, but it was humility. Anna and Jesse, much before Mr. Collins wrote this book, had that humility down pat. They were the type of people to come into a situation and instead of directing or trying to manage it, they just simply ask, how can I help? I love the way Andy Stanley in his book Follow says it. He says, look for opportunities to do for one that you wish you could do for everyone. I love that because it helps us not to focus on the overwhelming task of fixing everything, which sometimes can paralyze us. And tonight, once again, we'll recognize students that have done so much with their talents and their time. I've not met the two winners yet, but I'm guessing they are both the type to say, what can I do to help? Our community, our college, everyone in this arena tonight would be wise to follow their lead. Our first award winner tonight, while attending Alpena Community College, has contributed to the life of college as president of ACC's new Omicron chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, as a peer tutor in the Student Service Center, as a work-study student with the TRIO Talent Search, and as a lumberjack leader. Your volunteer activities include participating as an active mother in the AMA Great Start Playgroup, Tiny Tots, and preschool play dates at the Alpena County Library. For all these accomplishments, we are pleased to present the 2018-2019 Anna Besser Award to Ashley Pankin. Our second award winner, while attending Alpena Community College, has contributed to the life of college through involvement in the following activities: Student Leader Commission, the ACC Language Society, as a college tour guide, a Welcome Back Bash volunteer, which, by the way, one of these times I want to volunteer for that. That sounds fun. A commencement usher, and as a tutor of business and technical math. Your expression of responsibility in the solution of social problems can be seen in your involvement as an area representative for the ASSE International Exchange Program, as a volunteer for the United Methodist Church, and through your involvement with the International Order of Rainbow for Girls Trenton Assembly number 37. For all these accomplishments, we are pleased to present, again, the 2018 and 19 Anna Besser Award to Mahina Abdul-Janova.
All right, you guys, it's that time. Ready? All right, will the candidates for graduation please rise? All right, give me a hand. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the divisions of Liberal Arts, Science, and Applied Science, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for Bachelor of Science, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science, Associate in Applied Science, and Associate in General Studies degrees and certificates. Thank you.
Wonderful. Upon nomination of the faculty of Alpena Community College and by the authority vested in me through the Board of Trustees and the laws of the state of Michigan, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science, Associate in Applied Science, and Associate in General Studies and Certificates. Please be seated.
So as we get ready to present you for your awards up here, I want to explain to our audience and others that college graduates are given various honors for academic achievement. You see some of the gold cords, other awards that they're wearing. The achievements of cum laude is the designation for maintaining a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 to 3.699. The next designation, magna cum laude, is for maintaining an average of 3.7 to 3.899. The highest academic honors is for summa cum laude for an average of 3.9 to 4.0. We're going to go backwards. As we announce the graduates to come to the podium, we would like to ask that all of you hold your applause until the last graduate passes. We are live streaming this graduation tonight, and we want to ensure that every one of you and our audience that we are live streaming to is able to hear their students' names clearly. Thank you. Ushers. Will the first row of graduates please rise and proceed to the stage?
Stand here for a photo. Ethan R. Toth, Associate in Science.
Kimberly Albro, Associate in Arts, cum laude.
Dallin A. Toth, Associate in Arts.
William Reinholtz, Welding Fabric Certificate.
Harry W. Morgan III, Associate in Science.
Lucas Kuznicki, Associate in Applied Science, CAD/CAM Technology Machining, magna cum laude.
Barrett G. Jones, Associate in Arts.
Shane J. Wilkinson, Associate in Applied Science, Millwright Technician.
Cameron J. DeCare, Associate in Science.
Walter C. Hoover, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Technology, cum laude.
Tristan T. Smith, Associate in Science, summa cum laude.
Madison C. May, Associate in Arts.
Oliver P. Rice, Associate in Science, magna cum laude.
Shamini D. Shemke, Associate in Science.
Christy L. Gibbs, Associate in Applied Science, Accounting, Associate in Arts, magna cum laude.
Crystal L. Gallatley, Associate in Arts.
Brianna M. Kaufman, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management, cum laude.
Roxanne K. Cortman, Associate in Arts.
Lauren E. LaFleche, Associate in Arts, magna cum laude.
Madeline Witten, Associate in Arts.
Maya Myers, Associate in Science, magna cum laude.
Ashley H. Panknen, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management, Associate in Applied Science, Small Business Management, magna cum laude.
Kaylee A. Cressell, Associate in Arts, magna cum laude.
Jessica L. Grove, Associate in Science, magna cum laude.
Joel E. Gapsky, Associate in Applied Science, Welding Technology.
Zachary R. Hazy, Associate in Arts.
Shauna M. Mihalski, Associate in Applied Science, Welding Technology, Welding Fabrication Certificate.
Bailey Shea Detloff, Associate in Arts.
Andre T. Gagne, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management.
Brianna L. Wendt, Associate in Applied Science, Registered Nursing.
Tatum Eileen Moran, Associate in Arts.
Rebecca L. Brown, Associate in Applied Science, Registered Nursing.
Caitlin M. Hanna, Associate in Applied Science, Welding Technology, summa cum laude.
Faith Hosanna Metter Levshnoff, Associate in Applied Science, Registered Nursing.
Zachary B. A. Sean, Associate in Science.
Kevin L. Baker, Associate in Science.
Trevor O. McConnell, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management.
Rachel Jessica Lobaugh, Associate in Arts.
Christopher J. Bujenski, Associate in Applied Science, Industrial Technology.
Jevelyn Marcoux, Associate in Applied Science, Law Enforcement.
Kayla M. Shrizo, Associate in Arts.
Jordan T. Mason, Associate in Arts, cum laude.
Shelby M. Archambault, Associate in Applied Science, Small Business Management Certificate.
Brittany K. Mason, Associate in Arts, summa cum laude.
Weinman. Blake H. Weinman, Associate in Applied Science, Concrete Technology.
Lacey M. Stevenson, Associate in Applied Science, Law Enforcement.
Andrew P. Radke, Associate in Applied Science, Concrete Technology, cum laude.
Stephen A. Shepard, Associate in General Studies.
Jeffrey A. Shepke, Associate in Applied Science, Concrete Technology.
Dariana R. Lansewitz, Associate in Arts.
John L. Sexton, Associate in Applied Science, Network Administration.
Megan B. Richter, Associate in Science.
Sarah J. Eddingfield, Associate in Applied Science, Marine Technology, Associate in Applied Science, Mechanical Design Technology.
James M. Schultz, Associate in Science.
Joseph M. Wyland, Associate in Applied Science, Network Administration.
Emily M. McDonald, Associate in Arts, summa cum laude.
Krista N. Pulowski, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin E. Coonrod, Associate in Science.
Robert D. Marceau, Associate in Applied Science, Network Administration Certificate.
Charles D. Schneider, Associate in Arts.
Adrian J. Woods, Associate in Science.
Kayla Marie Wicarius, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management, cum laude.
Stephen T. Harrington, Associate in Arts.
Ready? Hannah R. Medke, Associate in Applied Science, Small Business Management, Associate in Arts.
Caleb L. Witten, Associate in Applied Science, Network Administration.
Brooke A. Peterson, Associate in Applied Science, Business Management, summa cum laude.
Tommy S. McNabb, Associate in Applied Science, Network Administration.
Jessica R. Marweed, Associate in Arts, summa cum laude.
Lucas D. Milrick, Associate in Science.
Mahina Abdullah Genova, Associate in Arts, cum laude.
Jerianna H. Herman, Associate in Arts, magna cum laude.
Kylie M. Cooper, Associate in Arts, cum laude.
Allison A. Poley, Associate in Arts, magna cum laude.
Nicholas T. Jones, Associate in Arts.
Getzmeyer. Lauren Jean Getzmeyer, Associate in Science.
Keone L. Kindler, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate.
Alyssa R. Budnick, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant, cum laude.
Justin A. Bolt, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Kelsey L. Thompson, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Devin J. Chuwojan, Utility Technician Certificate.
Megan K. Petty, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Matthew B. Goodenow, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, magna cum laude.
Katie Schuster, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Cody R. Eaton, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate.
Paige Ariel Durecki, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Zachary A. Walker, Utility Technician Certificate.
Megan M. Hadel, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Shane A. Peterson, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Sierra R. Corbin, Associate in Science.
Caleb J. Brown, Utility Technician Certificate.
Young. Tiffany M. Young, Associate in Science.
Josh D. Gildner, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Billy J. Klimajeski, Associate in Arts.
Jessica L. Ferguson, Associate in Science, summa cum laude.
Alyssa M. Payne, Associate in Applied Science, Business Information Systems, Administrative Professional, summa cum laude.
Lauren E. Krupinski, Associate in Arts.
Nancy M. Frary, Associate in Applied Science, Business Information Systems Administrative Assistant, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin N. Peltz, Associate in Arts.
Preston J. Prush, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
John J. Kozlowski, Associate in Applied Science, Registered Nursing.
Tristan J. Reed, Utility Technician Certificate.
Keenan S. Anderson, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Trenton L. Jancy, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Alexander C. Axel Rose, Utility Technician Certificate.
Shane M. Foster, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Chandler Bates, Utility Technician Certificate.
Zachary H. Moran, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Apprentice Electrical Certificate.
Caleb Heisinga, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Grace A. Balog, Associate in Science, magna cum laude.
Justin J. Henry, Utility Technician Certificate.
Christina L. Atkinson, Associate in Science, cum laude.
Joseph F. Burville, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Tricia J. Herron, Associate in General Studies, cum laude.
Colin G. Spees, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Brianna B. Decker, Associate in Science, summa cum laude.
Tyler A. Hurst, Associate in Applied Science, Electrical Maintenance Technology, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Apprentice Electrical Advanced Certificate, Apprentice Electrical Certificate.
Lydia Eliza Hanna, Associate in Science, Associate in Arts.
Mason A. Cortman, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology.
Miranda F. Schulk, Associate in Science, Associate in Art. And PTK.
Hunter J. Miller, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Tanner Michael Klein, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Hunter P. Vaughn, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Trevor M. Smallwood, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Andrew L. Frost, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Jacob L. McFadden, Utility Technician Certificate.
Daniel BDE Ailing, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Jacob W. Marsh, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Jacob L. Ewell, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Zachary W. Rhine, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Bradley D. Coxworth, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate.
Ryan P. Meir, Utility Technician Certificate.
Joey Weber, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Griezak. Jared J. Griezak, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Colby L. Coolhane, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Cody P. Wilson, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude.
Brendan M. Fader, Utility Technician Certificate, cum laude.
Hart E. Smalley, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude.
Alexander C. Garvin, Utility Technician Certificate.
Our very own Dennis J. Walterite, Associate in Arts.
Donald M. Knapp, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude. Alexander J. Longcore, Utility Technician Certificate, summa cum laude. Francis J. Scheid, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude. Colton H. Cleaver, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude. Luke J. Winslow, Utility Technician Certificate, magna cum laude. Garrett R. Hartley, summa cum laude, veteran of U.S. military service. Sean A. Loria, magna cum laude, veteran of U.S. military service. Kevin O'Neill, UTT Certificate, cum laude, veteran of U.S. military service. Joshua Joseph Albert Jones, Associate in Applied Science, Utility Technology, Utility Technician Certificate, and veteran of the U.S. military service.
Okay, applause is allowed now. So graduates, please rise. And please move your tassel from the right to the left. And turn to the audience. I am proud to present the 2019 graduating class of Alpena Community College. Graduates, please face the podium and remain standing. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the benediction?
Gracious God, give grace and courage to the ones who have worked hard and now have completed this special time of graduation. We thank you for protecting and guiding them to this point. All praise and glory to you. Inspire our graduates to put to good use all the knowledge, skills, and life lessons gained through their education. Most importantly, as they face unknown challenges moving on, help them to keep dear the greatest wisdom of all, that of knowing you. A chapter has closed and another eagerly awaits. Pave their road with opportunities and inspire them to live with undying hope in this incredible journey called life. Continue to bless them with love, protection, mercy, strength, and wisdom. May they live passionately to honor and glorify your name, we pray. Amen.
Please wait while we retire the retiring of the colors.
This concludes our 2019 commencement ceremony. To allow our graduates and staff the honor of a formal recessional, we'd like to ask the audience to please remain seated until the last graduate has cleared the arena. A reception honoring our graduates and a chance for them to visit with their staff will take place immediately following the ceremony at the Besser Museum for Northeast Michigan, right across the parking lot. Thank you.